You know how much I love digging into these online business models? And this one has really caught my eye.
Yeah, this one is interesting.
We're talking AI-generated printables,
Okay.
and specifically how this one YouTube channel is using this strategy to rake it in.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I first saw this, I thought, AI printables, like how
Yep.
much money can you really make with that, right?
Yeah.
But the numbers this channel is pulling in are kind of mind-blowing.
Right, like it's not just beer money. These are serious business figures.
Exactly.
And the best part is, it doesn't seem like you need to be some kind of tech genius to make this work.
Well, and that's what's so captivating about this whole case study, right? It's the low barrier to entry. You don't need to be a tech wizard or some design guru.
And on that note of getting started, the source dives right into the importance of validating demand before you even think about creating anything.
Always a good idea.
Which just makes sense. I mean, it's business 101, but it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new idea and forget the fundamentals.
It's so true.
They actually showcase a few Etsy shops that are making a killing selling digital landscape art.
And not just any landscape art. The source specifically calls out vintage and watercolor styles as top performers. I mean, 5 figures a month selling digital downloads. That's impressive.
Seriously impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen the potential, but this source, they're not just about Etsy, they're big on branching out. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, they highlight a really crucial point. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Relying solely on Etsy means playing by their rules, paying their fees, all of that.
Which is fine when you're starting out, but...
Exactly. But this source is all about building something with more long-term value, right? They emphasize the power of building your own website, even alongside your Etsy shop.
So it's like having your own storefront versus just a stall in a crowded marketplace, right? You get to curate the experience.
Precisely. You set your prices, you build that direct relationship with your audience.
Which is huge for building a lasting brand.
Absolutely. And you know, it's fascinating when they're talking about identifying profitable niches. The beauty is that there are just so many possibilities within the realm of digital art. Like, who would have thought that vintage and watercolor landscapes could be such a gold mine, right?
Right. Okay, so let's say you've found your niche. Maybe it's landscapes, maybe it's something else. What's the next step? Do you need to be some Photoshop prodigy to start creating these designs? Because I'm pretty sure my stick figures wouldn't sell for 5 figures.
No, not at all. And this is where the AI comes in.
Okay.
And this source really breaks down just how accessible this technology is becoming, even for complete beginners.
So let's talk AI. What tools are we even talking about here?
So the source specifically recommends Canva.
Okay, Canva. So that rings a bell. I feel like even my mom has used Canva for something.
Yeah, a lot of people know Canva for like graphic design, social media posts, that sort of thing.
Right, right.
But what you might not know is that they've got these pretty incredible AI image generation capabilities built right in.
Oh, really? Built in? I had no idea.
Yeah, it's kind of a game changer. You literally type in what you want, like they call it a prompt.
A prompt.
Yeah, and the AI just generates different options based on your description.
Okay, wait. So I could type in something like, I don't know, whimsical watercolor painting of a squirrel wearing a tiny hat drinking tea, and Canva would just create that.
Pretty much.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, you might need to play around with your prompts a bit to get like the exact aesthetic you're going for.
Yeah.
Like instead of just saying watercolor, you might say impressionistic watercolor or, you know, vintage botanical illustration to really hone that style.
This is like having a conversation with the AI almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's this whole thing now, like prompt engineering, they call it, where you're basically learning how to communicate effectively with the AI.
That's so cool. Okay, so you're iterating, you're refining, and you've got your design. But are we just slapping this up on Etsy at this point, or is there more to it? Because I feel like the source mentioned something about mockups.
Yes, mockups. This is key.
Okay.
Okay, imagine you're scrolling through Etsy and you see a listing for a digital download. It's just, you know, the design on a white background.
Yeah.
Now imagine seeing that same design, but it's like presented as a framed print hanging above a fireplace in this cozy living room.
Yeah, yeah. I'm way more drawn to the second one. It just feels more real somehow.
Exactly. You're not just buying the file, you're buying a whole vibe. And mockups, they help people envision like how that design could actually exist in their own lives. It's all about storytelling through presentation.
That's so smart. Okay, so we've created this gorgeous design. We've made it feel tangible with mock-ups, but how do we actually get it in front of those eager buyers?
Right? Because we've got the build it and they will come thing going
Yeah,
on?
it's not really a thing.
Not so much. So this is where the whole YouTube strategy comes in.
Yes, and this is where this particular creator, they just shine. Instead of relying solely on Etsy or paid ads, they've really cracked the code of organic traffic.
Okay, organic traffic meaning people are just finding their content naturally, right?
Exactly. No money spent on ads, which is huge.
Huge. So how are they doing it? Spill the tea.
YouTube, my friend.
YouTube. Okay, so creating engaging video content, it just feel like a whole other skill set, you know?
It can seem daunting.
Right. Like I can barely string together a coherent Instagram caption, but the source makes a really good point, right? You don't need to be some professional videographer to make this work. You don't need thousands of subscribers.
So what's the secret?
It's just about providing genuine value to like a very targeted audience.
Okay, that makes sense. And in this case, this YouTuber is essentially documenting their design process, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're showing how they go from like idea to finished product using all this AI magic.
Okay. And people are into that, watching someone design on Canva.
Yes, because they're not just showing the final polished result. They're taking people behind the scenes, right? They're sharing their brainstorming sessions, their struggles even. Like, they're not afraid to show the aha moments when a design finally clicks, you know?
That's so smart. It's like you're giving people a peek into your creative process.
And it makes it feel relatable. Like, even if you're not a design whiz, you're watching this person, you're thinking, hey, maybe I could do that too.
Right. It takes the intimidation factor out of it.
Yeah.
But, okay, say I'm sold on this whole YouTube thing. How do you even come up with video ideas? Because coming up with content consistently, I feel like that's a job in itself.
Totally. And the source actually recommends this really cool tool called Answer the Public. It's a free resource, and it basically analyzes like search engine queries related to your niche.
So it's telling you what people are already searching for.
Exactly. You're seeing the exact questions people are asking online. So let's say you're doing those vintage landscape designs. Answer the Public might show you that people are searching for how to make my home look like a cozy cabin, or best vintage botanical prints for a gallery wall, right?
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Then you create videos that are directly answering those questions. And of course, subtly weaving in your own designs and process.
It's like you're giving people exactly what they're looking for, but in a way that also showcases your unique style and expertise.
Right. And the videos don't have to be super complicated either. Even short, simple content can be really effective. Think like, you know, time lapses of you creating a design in Canva. Or quick tutorials on how to use mockups.
So people can actually see it in action.
Exactly. Or even just like sharing your thought process as you're browsing vintage illustrations for inspiration.
It sounds like authenticity is key here.
100%.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people connect with people, right? They're connecting with your personality, your process, just as much as the final product.
So it's all about building that relationship. And because you're driving all this traffic to your own website, you have complete control over that customer journey, right?
Yes, you can offer your own discounts, you can build your email list, you can create a direct line of communication that's just not possible on a third-party platform.
So to recap, we've gone from validating demand, using AI tools like Canva to create those designs, the power of mockups for presentation, and now this brilliant YouTube strategy for getting those designs seen. It's a lot, but it also feels incredibly doable when you break it down like this.
And that's the beauty of this business model, right? You can start small, you can experiment, you can scale up as you go.
I love that. So for anyone listening who's feeling that little spark of, I don't know, is it possibility? That urge to create, what's the first step? What should they do?
Honestly, just dive in. Play around with Canva, explore that AI image generation, see what it's all about, check out Answer the Public, see what people are searching for in the niches that you might be interested in.
It's amazing to think about, honestly. This technology is so accessible now that you really can turn like your creative passions into a thriving online business.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I'll leave you with this. What if that design, that idea that you've been, I don't know, maybe too scared to explore, what if that could be the start of something truly special?
Love it.
Food for thought.